Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we make sense of the money magic behind big companies, and today we're diving into Ondas Holdings Inc. because they've been busy making some moves, and let's just say it involves a significant purchase and a whole lot of stock. Get ready, because this report is all about a major acquisition and how it is shaking up their finances, so stick around to see if this is a brilliant strategic play or a risky gamble. Before we dive in, if you want more of these no-nonsense, easy to understand corporate breakdowns, make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell. And hey, we've got a fantastic community over on Discord discussing these filings further. So join us there, the link is in the description below. Alright, so what we have here is a Form 8K filing from Ondas Holdings Inc., which is basically a way for companies to quickly tell the public about major events that shareholders care about. Think of it as their official announcement channel when something big happens. And boy, did something big happen. The main event, folks, is the big acquisition Ondas Holdings Inc. just completed on the 17th of November 2025. They officially bought out a company called Sentry CS Limited from Israel. Now, this wasn't a small purchase. They paid a total of $225 million to get their hands on 100% of Sentry's stock. How did they pay for this? Well, a good chunk of it, $125 million, was in cash. Now, it is not like they handed over all that cash at once. $117.5 million was paid right at the closing date, but there is a plan for the remaining $7.5 million. This will be paid out in 3 installments over the next 120 days. Think of it as staggered payments to manage the cash outflow, but that is not all. Another massive part of this deal was paid for with Ondas's own stock. They issued up to $100 million worth of their common stock to the sellers. At the closing, they issued about $29.4 million worth of stock, which came out to around 4.1 million shares. And just like the cash payments, there are more stock payments coming up, totaling another $45 million in stock that will be issued over the next few months. The company does have the option to pay this remaining stock portion in cash if they decide to, which is an interesting bit of flexibility. Now, here is something interesting for the newly acquired shareholders. The sellers can't just dump all those new shares onto the market at once. They're subject to daily trading volume limits, meaning they can only sell a certain percentage of the average daily trading volume of Ondas stock each day. This is a common practice to prevent flooding the market and driving down the stock price, which is good for existing shareholders. To make sure those sellers can eventually sell their stock, Ondas also entered into a registration rights agreement. This basically means Ondas will help them register these shares with the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SECSO, so they can be legally resolved. This whole process ensures that the acquisition is handled smoothly from a regulatory and shareholder perspective. This section confirms that the stock they issued as part of this deal is exempt from the usual registration requirements with the SEC. This is typically done using specific regulations like Regulation S and Regulation D, which allow for private placements of securities under certain conditions. Essentially, it means they're operating within the established rules for issuing stock in transactions like this, rather than going through a full public offering for these specific shares. Now, this is a pretty standard part of an 8K. Ondas is telling us that the detailed financial statements and pro forma information, which means how their financials would look if the acquisition had already happened at an earlier date, will be filed later. They have up to 71 days after this report to submit those more in-depth financial details. So, while we know the deal is done, we'll have to wait a bit for the full financial picture to emerge. Here we see a list of the documents that are part of this filing. The share purchase agreement is incorporated by reference, meaning it is a document that has already been filed previously but is now being referenced again as key to this acquisition. It's the detailed contract outlining all the terms of the deal. They're also including an opinion from Snell Amp Wilmer LLP, a law firm. This is usually a legal opinion on the validity of the stock issuance itself, confirming that the shares being issued are legally sound. And of course, the registration rights agreement we talked about earlier is also listed here as an exhibit. It's another key document governing how the newly issued shares can be traded. You'll notice some asterisks next to a couple of these exhibits, like the share purchase agreement. That asterisk, along with this note, means that some of the detailed schedules and exhibits within those agreements have been omitted. Companies often do this to protect sensitive information. However, they promise to provide these omitted details to the SEC if they ask for them. So it's like the Cliff Notes version is public, but the full details are available upon request. And finally, we have the signatures confirming that this report has been duly authorized and filed on behalf of Ondas Holdings Inc. This particular signature is from Eric A. Brock, who is the Chief Executive Officer. It's his sign-off, meaning has officially approved this report, signaling that the company is transparent about these significant events. So what is the takeaway here? Ondas Holdings Inc. just made a bold move acquiring Sentry CS Ltd for a substantial $225 million. This is funded by a mix of cash and a significant amount of their own stock. This acquisition signals their belief in Sentry's potential and their willingness to expand their footprint by integrating new assets and technologies. The staggered cash and stock payments, along with the trading restrictions on the new shares, show a thoughtful approach to managing the financial impact and market perception of this deal. While we'll need to see the full financial statements to get the complete picture of how this acquisition impacts their balance sheet and future profitability, this initial filing clearly marks a major strategic shift for Ondas. It is a big step that could lead to significant growth, but like any large acquisition, it also carries inherent risks. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on how this plays out for Ondas Holdings Inc. What's your take on this acquisition? Do you think it's a smart move for Ondas, or are they taking on too much risk? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, smash that like button, subscribe for more candid corporate insights. And don't forget to join our Discord community for even deeper dives and discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.